Welcome to Daily Sama. This is Dr. Shalini Bahl. And every day on work days, we're meeting at noonish to practice with one mindfulness skill and to disrupt our default habits of how we're showing up for ourselves, for each other. So today's practice, continuing with the idea of compassion, is the practice of interbeing. And so interbeing is this idea that was coined by a beloved teacher, uh, Thich Nhat Hanh. And the idea is that we live in an interconnected world. And so it's about recognizing our needs and also the needs of others. But I particularly picked this one because there's a lot of conversation happening in our communities online where we see people falling into one end of the spectrum of empathy. So it brings in this either or thinking where we're really feeling compassion or empathy for one group of people, and then we're not able to see the suffering of others. And and today's practice is really helping us develop that ability to practice both. And so we're going to practice self-compassion, looking at our needs and also the needs of other people. So I invite you to think of a relationship in which you'd like to bring more into being, this practice of into being with. So it could be with your children or place of work, in your community, someone you're interacting with online. We'd like to foster this deeper understanding of interbeing. So I'm going to actually think of someone I am communicating with online. And so I'm acknowledging my needs in that interaction. And then I will also practice seeing what's going on for the other person and connecting with their needs. So does everyone have a relationship in mind with which we could practice? Yes. And if you're just joining today for the first time, we are practicing with the mindfulness skill of compassion, and the practice for today is interbeing. So I will just read what's on this card, which is based on my book, Return to Mindfulness. And this particular practice or micro practice we're going to do talks about Thich Nhat Hanh's teachings of interbeing. And so the mindfulness reminder card reads, our needs are interdependent. When we look deeply, we can develop understanding and even common ground. Before an interaction, take a moment to check in. What are my needs? What might be the other person or people's needs? Can you see how your needs are interconnected, and proceed with curiosity and care? So please bring to mind a particular relationship with which you would like to practice interbeing. And as always, we will begin by returning to our present moment experience by lowering or closing your eyes so you can direct your attention inwards, taking a few deep breaths in and exhaling through the mouth. So this is your few moments in the day to let go of any rushing, judging, and give yourself the gift of this time to meet yourself with kindness, with curiosity. And as you return to your breath, if your mind is particularly busy, as mine is today, I'd like to invite you to place your hand on your chest or the region of your heart. And really connecting with the breath moving in your chest, the rising and falling of the breath. And allowing yourself to feel the direct experience of breathing, the breath moving, rising, falling, creating that spaciousness in your heart as you breathe in. And as you exhale, a softening, letting go of any kind of grasping judgments. And from this place of connection with yourself, with your breath, checking in with what are your needs in this particular relationship or situation. So maybe you want to feel seen or heard, acknowledged. So without any judgment, just checking in with what are your needs in this situation. So it's maybe to be able to share your perspectives without any judgment, to be able to share your gifts freely, to share your perspective. And of course, if you need more time, you can always continue this practice on your own or do some journaling. What are my needs in this situation? And for now, we're going to shift our attention to the other person in this dynamic and just holding that intention of wanting to understand what are the other person's needs in this relationship or in this exchange. Even though we may not fully know what's going on for the other person, just holding that intention of what might be the suffering or the needs of this other person who is showing up in this exchange, who's also a fellow human being just like us and doing the best that they know. What are we not seeing in the other person because of our judgments and our attachments or the lens we are bringing? So just breathing in to create a little more space in the mind's eye, in your heart, in your body. And with each exhale, softening the tension we may be holding in the body. And again, checking in with what are the needs of this other person. So, even as we engage in this practice, seeing if you can do it without a striving to fix anything, to find anything special, it's just a very gentle holding of this intention of seeking to understand what is going on for the other person, their emotions, their suffering, their desire to be seen or heard. And from this place of seeing our needs and the other person's needs, how can we show up? How can you show up with more understanding? What is one small step you can take to lead with care, with curiosity? And of course, if you need more time with this practice of interbeing, feel free to do some journaling after we end, or if the weather permits, going out for a walk. It's really nice to be in nature, to feel that connection with the land, with nature, with trees, the sky, and seeing our place in this larger world and part of this larger world can help us connect with this natural empathy or compassion that we hold and feel naturally as human beings. So I hope this practice helped you to shift from that either or binary. Many of us can be at one end of the spectrum where we can either really be very caring about other people and then we don't take care of ourselves, or we may be very good at really taking care of ourselves, but then we're ignoring what the other person needs. And most of us kind of go back and forth in different situations. We can be both. So in each interaction that we have, maybe continue to cultivate this practice of interbeing. So where we're really seeing that we're all fellow human beings on this journey, we have our own lives and learning, and how can we show up for ourselves and for others with that sense of care and understanding. So I'm curious if anything came up for you with this practice. Um, Did anything shift for you, or any challenges you faced in doing this practice? And if you're just joining, feel free to watch this recording that I'll be sharing um, in the micro practices section of Sama Life. The practice we did today was of interbeing, which is a compassion practice where we're cultivating that both and thinking, where we're learning to take care of our needs and the needs of other people and seeing how they may actually be interconnected. So I don't know for you, for me, just doing that little bit of practice helped me touch on the emotional experience of the other person and to really stay and feel the emotions of what that other person may be going through. And it softened something for me within myself. So as I move to responding to this person online, I'm going to hold that intention of really respecting and honoring what their experience is and coming from a place of curiosity to continue to seek to understand their perspective that they're trying to communicate. So if you have any questions, feel free to share them in your comments or the message box, or otherwise, we can continue this conversation in the recording page on Sama Life, where you can share your questions, comments, insights, experiences. And I hope you will continue to return to this practice, this micro practice, before every interaction you have today. So thank you for your practice. May our practice be for our benefit and for the benefit of all beings. And I'll see you tomorrow at noon. Until then, stay Sama.